not a big deal. For me, it's more like the sleeping together, and he would break up with me right after, but it doesn't even make sense because now we would have sex with each other. So why are you
So I guess that's
breaking up? So yeah.
And did it?
So for sure he was cheating. I don't know any of my other. Oh, there was one who cheated.
Was that bad for you?
Yeah.
How did it impact you? Like, did you still want to be in a relationship, or what was your feeling on it?
Oh, it was quite a long time ago. Try to think. We had so much fight and problems, and I can't remember when I figured out he cheated. But that was also just a cherry on top. But it was not a good feeling.
Yeah. Has being cheated on changed how you feel about men or relationships?
I think back then a little bit, but in a long term, no. I managed to overcome it, and I don't think all men cheat.
Yeah.
But it's more like it's the horrible thing is not that he slept. The funny thing is, you know what? He also didn't sleep with his ex-girl. It's the same thing. He went over and fingered his ex-girlfriend. So he didn't even sleep with her. This exact same thing what happened to me like 10 years earlier.
Also, he said.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I didn't have sex with her. I just did this. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
but it's the same thing like fingering.
Yeah, it's still cheating.
It's cheating, but it's more like betraying my trust. It's not about he had a fun night with his ex-girlfriend. If we would have set the boundary that's an okay thing, then it would have been okay, but it's more like lying about it.
If your husband cheated on you, what would you do? Do you think you have to end the relationship, or would you stay with them?
It depends if he is a billionaire and if he wrote a prenup or not.
Are you serious?
It depends on the circumstances. It's not a good thing to cheat, but you have to see what you have there. If we have 3 kids together and a mortgage, and we move together, I don't know, Bali.
So if your life's good, it's harder to walk away.
No, but if we have like so much history and you know, have a family and kids, and especially young kids, it's a bit rushed to just break up with somebody and like put a relationship to the trash.
I think that's fair.
I think would require a lot of communication, like why did the cheating happen, and is he in love with this person, or he was like being really drunk on a party with his friends and went to the strip club and one thing just. I'm not saying you can justify things with alcohol or drugs, but there are levels of cheating. So for example, if your husband is on a stag party, getting super drunk, get a stripper, get a lap dance, and ended up having an accidental blowjob
I think
from the
an
stripper.
accidental blowjob.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know.
I do agree that like there's.
So that it's not the same level as have a long-term lover who you are promising the lover that I love you and I'm gonna leave my wife for you.
Yeah, I do think that alcohol is to blame for a lot of problems because it does make you more myopic. It does make you just think of the short term. And I think there's definitely a case to be made for like a drunk argument in the morning. You just have to dismiss it and just say, look, this is not a serious argument. We just have to wake up. It's a new day. And I think maybe it has to be the same with cheating and things because like if you're a drinker, then maybe that's just, I guess that's why girls often don't like their partner going out with the boys and getting drunk. You know, better to go out together. Do you ever think about, because you've been cheated on before and you remember how it feels, do you ever think about how the woman feels when you're with an escort client that's married, say. Do you ever feel guilty?
No,
No.
because it's not my business.
Yeah, I genuinely think that it's the person who's cheating's fault. But I do notice that a lot of women will blame the woman, instead of her
Of
husband.
course, because then she need to acknowledge that her
Like, it's your fault because you placed an ad
yeah.
and you called.
Yeah, obviously. It's easier to blame the other woman than to blame the partner who they don't want to admit that maybe that relationship is not that strong or there is a flaw in his character.
Mm,
So probably 55 minutes ago you had a question like who is cheating and why they are cheating. And we only talk about the bored husband who are married
yeah.
for 40 years and kind of we give the green card or at least the yellow card like okay,
Yeah, he's
no
not
no
getting
no
sex.
not green but like yellow,
Like, if
okay,
he's
this
not
is
getting sex, he needs some
yeah,
sex from somewhere. Like, that's yeah.
yeah. And then there are like younger guys. There are some people who would meet me just for once. There was this guy who really liked my corn movies, and he said, "Oh, I'm about to get married, but I always wanted to meet you before I get married, and this is my wedding gift to myself that I came to see you."
That's just a sign not to get married, I think. Like, to marry somebody else if you're thinking about, like, sleeping with
Was this
before
on
your
the other hand,
wedding.
it's super difficult because you on one hand you have this like beautiful future with this nice woman and kids and house and mortgage and dogs and cats, and then you have this like fantasy
But the
but you
point
can never fulfill because usually women, even if you would bring them up, they would decline it, I would say most of the times.
depends, yeah. But,
So
but
it's really
starting
difficult, yeah.
that marriage is never gonna last because, like, the point of